Today we're going to be taking a look at and also showing you how to install the Dexter Trailer Idler Axle with the idler hubs. These have the easy lube spindles and offer the 4-on-4 bolt pattern. 60 inches long and with a 2,200 pound capacity. The part number is 20440I-EZ-60. Now, to verify that this is going to be the appropriate axle replacement for you, there are two measurements that you want to get. The first they call spring center. So that's going to be from the center of the spring on this side to the center of the spring on the other side. This axle offers a 48-inch, what they call spring center to spring center measurement, so you want to make sure that yours matches that. The second is going to be the hub face to the hub face. So you want to get this measurement while the hubs are still on the axle. You're going to measure from the flat spot where your rim makes contact with the hub to that same spot on the opposite side. What we're looking for is 60 inches. Now, to install the spring on your axle, we're going to use U-bolts to connect it. So our spring is going to fit around the underside. We'll have a plate to go underneath and 2 U-bolts to hold it. Now, we recommend using a new U-bolt kit. The larger hole in the middle is going to accept that small tab that sticks off there. The top portion of the bolt fits right into the bottom. Our spring perch there. Bring that through, and then we'll just take the provided nuts. We'll snug these down once we have our axle in position and we know that it's hanging the way we want it. Now we can get our axle put up in position once we have that done on each end. You'll see here on the back side is going to be the area the slipper portion will slide into, and then we'll rotate it up into position, and we'll use our bolt here in the front. So we just want to rotate that up into position. Once we align our hole, we can slide through our bolt. You can see that's going to fit right through that bracket up here on the spring eye. We'll go through our bracket, through the spring eye, come out on the inside. Just want to keep in mind you do want a little bit of movement. You don't want to squeeze that bracket down so tight that it's pulled against the side of the springs. You want those to be able to move a little bit. Now on the back side of the bolt, right there at the head, you'll see the splines that are on it. Those are designed to engage the bracket and keep our bolt from turning. So you don't want to turn the bolt side. We're going to tighten this down using the nut side only. Now once the spring eye bolts are in place, just want to kind of tap your axle and make sure that your U-bolts are sitting straight up and down, and we'll start to tighten these down evenly. Now we're going to go to each one and we're going to begin to torque them down. Now, typically what you're looking for is torque to yield, is what they call. So we're going to torque these just until we see our plate start to deform just slightly. That'll give us the proper tension on those U-bolts, so we won't have to worry about them backing off. Now, whether you've just got the replacement beam or the kit, you're going to have to assemble your bearings, your hubs, everything, and get it put in. Now, the hub kit is going to, of course, have our hub. You see it's got the black powder coat finish on it. Has our 4 studs. Now these are on a 4-on-4 bolt pattern, which is going to be very, very common. Inside you'll see the races the bearings are going to run on. It's really nice to get a full replacement kit when you do replace axles, just because you're starting right back from scratch. So everything's going to be brand new and fresh. It's going to come with an inner and outer bearing for each side. Of course, you'll have new lug nuts. You're going to have the new dust cap with the removable plug that allows you to get into the Easy Lube greaser. And we've got the bushing, the nut, and the keeper that kind of holds all that in place and keeps it from backing out while on the end of the hub. So this really gives you an excellent way to get everything replaced. And then once you have your bearing in the back side of your hub, you've got the new seal. That's going to keep all the grease inside and not let it seep out. Now we're just going to use some regular red style high temp grease. It's important to use high temp grease. You don't want to use like a universal or anything like that, just because as fast as this is going to be turning, it builds up a lot of heat. We'll take one of our bearings. They're both going to be the same. And then you can use a bearing packer. There are a few different methods for packing bearings, but these being as small as they are, it won't take long. Just get a glove on your hand and you just kind of work it in that crack between the inner and outer portion. And as you do that, it's going to come out of the top, right up in this area. Just want to make sure you do that all the way around. But once we've got that coming out all the way around the top edge here, we'll call that one packed. That's going to go right into the back side of our hub. And we'll show you how to put that seal in now. Now to get our seal in place, we're going to be using a seal driver. This is part number PTW 83020. Just gives you a nice flat surface. It's pretty easy to work with. If you don't have a seal driver around, or if you don't want to make the investment in it, you could also, instead of placing my seal driver on the top, you could also use like a block of wood. So you're just going to place it on there, begin to tap it down in place. You want to get it started all the way around. Once you've got it started all the way around, just drive it home evenly. Just like that. Now inside the hub you can see just a little recess area. I like to take a wad of grease and get it inside there all the way around. It'll just save you some time with the grease gun, filling it up later. Now we're going to slide that on. Place in our outer bearing, taper side in. Now we can slide on the bushing, and it's going to match the flat portion on the spindle there. Now it's time to thread on our nut. You see we've got free play there. We're going to make sure that we compress our bearings in there well. Just some slip joint pliers. You'll feel that kind of tighten up a little bit. We don't want it to be overly tight, so we'll back that off just a little bit. We feel the proper tension, then it's time to slide on the keeper. Now this is going to go right over the nut. You can see the little tab that sticks in. That's going to go in between the flat spot and the nut. So that is going to slide in that little slot right there. Now we'll use the grease gun. We're just going to fill till we see grease starting to come out around the outside of our bearings there. All right, now we just want to place our cap on. I'm going to begin to tap it in place. Just kind of like we did with the seal. You want to make sure you get it started all the way around, then you can put it in the rest of the way. That little lip should go right up against the outside of the hub, and you'll place your rubber cap in. You see that's going to cover our grease zerk there, keep any moisture or debris from getting in there and causing us any trouble. Now at that point you can put your tire back on, torque down your lug nuts properly, you'll be ready to hit the road. You remove this cap, inspect the grease inside, and when needed, add a little bit more. That's going to complete our installation of the Dexter Trailer Idler Axle with idler hubs, the 4-on-4 bolt pattern, 60 inches long.